guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. And if you think that you've seen me before in this exact attire, in this exact spot, are you having deja vu? I did just film a video for last Thursday. I did want to do this video because I actually asked you guys months ago on Instagram for your questions about our house buying scam, and if there was anything you wanted to know that I never shared in a video, or just anything and everything about the house. So today I thought I would go ahead and finally film that video since it's literally been months. So if you guys had some questions that I've never talked about, I might just be answering it in today's video. Now, before I get into this video, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder that episode 2 is out on my podcast right now. It is the KYLA Unfiltered podcast, and I always have it linked below down in my description. The last episode that I uploaded was about American Murder, The Family Next Door, which is a Netflix documentary about the murder of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico Watts. I talk about that. I talk about the things that Chris Watts has been planning in prison, and it's just mind-blowing. And I also talk about my thoughts on his mistress, Nicole Kessinger. So if you guys would like to join my KYLA Unfiltered podcast, I will give you guys a little preview clip of that right here. And now here's another thing that is fishy to me. Here's something else I found out. She was 15 weeks pregnant, right? But Chris and her were looking at taking a hiking trip in Aspen. I have this sinking suspicion, this gut feeling that he was going to try and murder her on this hiking trip and maybe try and make it look like an accident. This is the thing that just took this into a whole other direction for me. The fact that if the murder was premeditated, number one, I don't think it would have been as sloppy. I don't think Shanann would have been in a shallow grave and the girls dumped in oil barrels. I don't think it would have been that way. I don't think he would have been as manic the next day. I think if it was planned that he was going to murder them this way, it would have been way better thought out. But I do think that he was already had it in his head about murdering her. His mind wasn't on Shanann and going away for a nice weekend in Aspen and going on a hiking trip. You know he didn't give a shit about that. You know he didn't want a romantic getaway. So why was he so quick to look up hiking trails? And it will be linked down below if you guys are interested. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Q&A about our house and the things that you guys wanted to know that I haven't answered or addressed in my other videos about it. There was quite a few people that wanted to know if Mark and I are ever going to be able to trust another realtor, and I am very, very happy to say that the realtor that we worked with on selling the house was absolutely amazing. She was so transparent. She put every single detail to everything that was wrong with the house in the description of the home, like on the listing websites. Like, she talked about the mold, she talked about the flooding. Like, she was very, very clear with everyone who came and looked at the house. And also, the thing that I really loved about our realtor that helped us sell the house, it was completely different from the one when we purchased it, was that she had empathy. Like, when we were telling her what we went through and when we were showing her the property, like, she was showing genuine care for what we had gone through, and it didn't feel like she was faking it. It genuinely felt like she felt bad and that she didn't want anyone else to purchase this house and to go through something like we did. Like, she had empathy, and I appreciated that in her, because I'll tell you what, like, after our first experience, I genuinely thought like all realtors must just be scammers. Because when you go through something really bad, like with their first one, like, it really does make you think that like they're all gonna be like that. But I am so happy to say that the realtor with selling our house was really great. Like, we thanked her for being great, and we had no issues with her whatsoever. And I'm also sure that like dealing with our situation was really difficult. Like, everything we had to go through with the banks and stuff, like, they drew everything out so long because they didn't want to have to take the loss. And it was very stressful, I'm sure, for her as it was for us. It was like a very long process, so definitely appreciate her. And it did teach us that if we do ever go to purchase a house again, that, we'll know when we find a good realtor. And if we work with someone that we don't like, we can definitely, peace out, bitch, and find a new one, which is what we should have done at the very beginning in our situation. Yes, I do think that we'll trust a realtor again, and I think we just need to go with our gut feelings, because if you guys have followed our story, you heard from the very beginning with our original realtor, we had a very bad feeling about her. So, you know, we learned to go with our feelings a lot more, because I think sometimes, you know, you live and you learn. Like sometimes you wonder, like, am I just being an asshole? Like, am I projecting on this person? Am I assuming that they're this or that they're that and they're not that bad? And so you tend to like tuck your feelings in sometimes and not go with your gut. But we definitely learned when it comes to purchasing a house, go with your gut. You can definitely kick any realtor you don't want to be working with to the curb and find someone that fits you and your personality much better. Did you guys stop paying the mortgage and just walk away from the house? We did not. We actually did a short sale, and a short sale is different than a foreclosure. I always thought that with foreclosures, like you basically just walked away from the house like scot-free, but no, at least in the state of Arkansas, especially depending on what bank your mortgage is through, they will most likely come after you. So if you just think you can go and make a big purchase on a house, and if you can't pay for it, you can just go walk away and nothing bad happened to you, think again. They can sue you for every single dime. But also keep in mind that one thing that we learned, you know, talking to as many lawyers as we have, is that, you know, you can sue anybody and everybody for anything if you want to. However, it doesn't mean you're ever going to get a dime for it. So I mean, if the bank sued someone that didn't have any money on a house that foreclosed, like what really are they gonna get out of it? But I mean, you don't wanna be sued in general. That shit's stressful. It's not something that I think anybody really wants to deal with, but yeah, we didn't foreclose. We did a short sale. I will say this, when you are doing a short sale, you are not required to keep paying on the mortgage, because typically when people do short sales, it's because they can't afford it. Our situation was different though. Like, we weren't doing a short sale because we couldn't afford the house. We were doing a short sale because we couldn't live in there anymore, because the conditions of the home were unlivable with the black mold and the flooding. It was just dangerous for us and for our pets. So our situation was different. However, we did not pay on the mortgage anymore because we had to move into this apartment, and this apartment monthly is more expensive than our mortgage payment was, which is insane, but it's a hit we had to take. So we did just end up moving into this apartment, and we didn't pay on the mortgage the entire time we lived in this apartment, which was very good, because for a while I thought we were gonna have to pay for both, but we didn't have to. The short sale basically stopped all of that until it was all done and over with. So definitely, if you're in a situation where you're in a house that isn't livable, like, there is options for you. And I know that it feels like there's not. I know it feels like you're gonna be stuck in it forever and that there's no out, but there is an option. Talk to your bank about a short sale and make sure that you do not have to pay on that house during the short sale process. And I guarantee you, there's a loophole for you. We didn't think there was one for us either, because we were like, how are we gonna sell this house in a short sale? Like, who is gonna wanna buy a house like this? And I kept asking our realtor, can you see anybody wanting to purchase this house under these conditions? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes. She's like, tons of investors are gonna be looking at this property. And she was right. The first day we put it up for sale, someone showed up to look at it. So there's always an option. And when you think that you're stuck, I promise, let mine and Mark's story, you know, be the one that you look at as inspiration. You're not stuck. You can get out of it. Did the short sale affect your credit? Yes, it did. Now here's something that was very, it was a blessing in disguise for Mark and I. So when we went to go purchase this house, we had the appointment for the bank, and it was like the bank was closing in like an hour from when our appointment was on the day that we purchased the home. They typed up all of the paperwork completely wrong. There was some sort of error in communication, and they thought it was just going to be Mark's name on the home. So all of this paperwork, and if you've ever purchased a house, you know there is a lot of stuff you have to sign. All of it was typed up just for him. So when we showed up to sign this paperwork, they were like, we're gonna have to reprint all of this to put your name on it. And they seemed really, really irritated. And I was just like, is there a way I can put my name on it after we buy it today? Like, I just want to get this house bought and over with. I don't want to deal with this type thing. And they were basically like, yeah, you pay like a really small fee and then you're able to put your name on the house after you purchase it. That ended up being a blessing in disguise, because that meant that Mark's name was the only one on the house. So when we went to go do this short sale, it only affected his credit. And now, yes, that does suck, and it is unfortunate that his credit was affected. Like, if I was the only one on the house, it would suck that my credit was affected. But because we're in a relationship and we purchase our living environment together, it helps, because my credit is really good right now. So anything he can't get, like if he needs a new car, like I can co-sign and get him a car. Do you know what I mean? His credit took a hit by 100 points, but it's already like fixed. Like we didn't even know how it got fixed like that. Maybe it's from, you know, like COVID happened and like we paid off a bunch of bills with like the stimulus checks and stuff that we were getting. So maybe it's from that. I really don't know, but like his credit is already better. So definitely don't let the credit hit make you nervous. Like, most apartments will let you move in. There's always a way around things, but I do know that if you don't have good credit, it can be difficult. But also, don't be scared to talk to your, like if you're in a situation like Mark and I, talk to the managers at the apartment about it. Like, show them all the facts, show them all the things, like show them how it's not that I couldn't afford it. Here's my bank statements. It's not that I can't afford this place. Like, I took a credit hit because I had to do a short sale. Like, show them. There's some that will definitely like be a little bit more lenient. Like, they just want to know that they're going to get their money. They just want to know that you're going to make your payment and that you're going to be loyal. That's it. They don't care about anything else. So if your credit is ever an issue because of having to do a short sale, just like I said, don't be scared to talk to them directly about it and see what your options are, because there definitely is some. Did you go to the media with your story? No, I did not. I know that the media could have given it a lot more attention than what I got from just a video, but no, I did not go to the media. I did get reached out to by Lad Bible, and I never actually knew who they were or anything like that, but they did contact me on Instagram and they asked me if they could do a story on my video, and I don't know if they ever did. I gave them permission. I said, feel free to do the story if you would like to, but they never got back to me after I told them that they could. So I don't know if like they ever did one. I don't know how to find it. So if you guys happen to find a story that Lad Bible did on my video, definitely let me know. I'm inclined to believe that they didn't end up doing one because I didn't notice like a surge in views or have anyone say anything that led me to believe that they did the story. But other than that, I haven't talked to media or anything like that about what happened to us. I mean, I definitely think that like obviously it would have been beneficial, because bringing exposure to our story doesn't just help us, which we don't need help anymore, but it helps people that are in similar situations like that. And some people may have, you know, seen our story and been like, oh wow, like there's an out. I didn't realize that there was. Do you know what I mean? Because we were definitely in that situation before where we didn't think that there was an out. So I didn't contact anybody about it, but it's not something that I would have been opposed to doing. Who were the people that showed up at your house? I actually just filmed that video right before I sat down to film this one, so I will link it up there if you guys did not see it. But if you're unaware of what this question is referring to, we started having like people show up at our house and just some bizarre things happened, to say the least, like shit getting stolen out of our shed. We definitely were going through a very weird time, and I did talk to you guys about it on Twitter, how there were people showing up and how I felt, nervous. And I ended up filming that video right before this one, so it will be linked up there if you guys didn't see it. Definitely go watch it because it's a crazy one. What are you looking for in your next house? To be honest with you, at this point, the last thing I'm even thinking about is owning a home. I have so much anxiety associated with that thought. I'm so relieved to be in an apartment where we're surrounded by tons of other people, and if anything goes wrong, we're able to have someone come fix it. Like, we're not on the first floor, so we don't have to worry about getting flooded out when it rains. Like, it would have to rain like the Great Flood for it to affect us. And it's really weird though, off that note, and if you guys want a full video about this, let me know. But we have had some issues with water intrusion in this apartment. Let me know if you guys want to hear about that, because it is a little bit strange, and I'll definitely tell you about it. But luckily we've had maintenance come and fix it, but I've been like, why can't we escape this? Like, why is there always something? But other than that, this apartment's great. So at this point, I'm not thinking about living in a house. I like that someone else has to fix the problems and not us. And I'm obviously terrified that if we were to ever buy a house again, that something like this would happen. Like, I don't even think I can ever even live on the first floor of anything ever again, unless it's literally at the top of a mountain. Like, I feel like too much anxiety. And will that anxiety ever go away? I don't know. Like, I feel like once I have kids, it's gonna be even worse. Like, once I have kids, like, I feel like I'm gonna be like, man, I really can't imagine owning a home when it's flooding. Right now, I'm not looking for anything in a house because I don't want one. Like, I like where I live. I'm good here. How much money did you put in the house trying to fix the damages before you sold it? Hundreds, thousands? Before we knew that other parts of the house flooded other than the kitchen, we had redone a bathroom. We had redone, started redoing a bathroom. We redid the floors. I put in a new cabinet that cost me like $300. We painted a lot of the walls, which was hundreds of dollars in paint. And then my office redid the flooring in there, which was hundreds of dollars. All the flood barriers we bought, which are expensive, added up to hundreds of dollars. I ended up having to throw away a lot of our clothes. We had to throw away a lot of furniture. So we were probably out thousands of dollars. I don't know the exact number, but we did put a lot into the house for legitimately no reason. Like, we never should have touched it with any of our money. Like, we tried to remove some of the black mold and then repair some of the walls. Like, oh my gosh, so much. And then, yeah, what else? I don't know. I don't know the exact number. It was probably in the thousands. I'm not sure how much. And it's weird because when you would look at it, it really didn't look like we put jack shit in that house because everything we started was just unfinished. Like everything looked awful. Do you plan on buying a house in the future? Like I said in the previous question, I'm not even thinking about a house. I like my apartment. I literally don't even want to move out of this one. Like, I just wish it was cheaper because it's very expensive. But I do like where we live now. I'm not worried about or thinking about moving into a house. Like, I used to say I would never start a family in an apartment. Totally fine starting a family here. Like, I like it. I think it's a good size. I think it's cute. I love how much daylight we get. We got a little tree out there. We got ourselves a balcony. Like, we're in a pretty populated area. Like, I love it. Like, I can order Uber Eats. What more could you ask for? Definitely not thinking about purchasing a house. No, don't want anything to do with that. Not today, Satan. Did you struggle getting approved for an apartment? Okay, so I have a really funny story time, and if you guys want me to do an entire video about this, definitely let me know. But at the very beginning of trying to find an apartment, we thought we were gonna struggle harder than we actually ended up having to, because the first place we went to look at, they were so snooty and so rude to us there and made us feel like we weren't good enough to live in those apartments. And like, we tried to talk to the guy about our situation that we were in, and he just didn't care to hear any of it. And it was just like, they looked at us, looked at the way we were dressed, and just looked us up and down and thought, no, we don't want people like you here. If you guys want an entire video on that, let me know, because I will do it. Like, no, like, they were so snooty and so rude there. They literally had this like personality, like, we got all this money and like, we want people here that look like they got all this money too. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, one of the things was that they wanted every single person that was over the age of 18 to be able to afford this expensive ass apartment on their own. Like, if you're 18 years old and you live in there and you live with your like 35-year-old dad that like has like a really, really fucking good job and is like having to pay for everything, it doesn't matter. Like, they want to know that the 18-year-old can afford it. Like, it was a joke. Let me know if you guys want to hear that. But the one that we ended up moving into, they were really, really good. The girl that showed us this apartment, like, she was literally like, we don't care how many mortgages you have. We don't care how many apartments you have. As long as you can afford afford this one and you make your payments, we don't care. So she was really, really good to work with, and it definitely lifted her spirits a lot. Like, we signed up to get the apartment like that day. Like, it was super easy, and we both got approved even though Mark was taking a hit, and it was just nice. So yes, I definitely think if you came out of a situation that we came out of, like I said earlier in this video, you can definitely still find an apartment, and there's definitely still options for you. There's always going to be someone that's going to be willing to work with you, and you might end up dealing with some rude people like we did. Let me know if you guys want that story time. I'm serious. Do you want it? Get down there and let me know so I can film that for you. But yeah, other than that, you can definitely find, you know, another place to live if you need it. There's always options for you. So, you know, it was a little bit difficult at the beginning, but we ended up finding one and it worked out. So all good there. And also, when we moved in, this was really, really cool, but like, we have like this big window and in our living room, and on the 4th of July, which was right after we had moved in, like, they were blowing up fireworks everywhere. Like, you could literally see fireworks blowing up on every single like part of the sky, like just constantly all night. And I told Mark, I was like, it's literally like a fireworks show for us. Oh my God, like, this is amazing. I had never seen anything like it. It was so cool. I don't know, it just felt nice. Like, I'm already used to this apartment now, and it already has a feeling like it's ours, and I don't feel like the newness anymore. Like, it feels normal. But I just remember that feeling when we had first moved in here, like watching the fireworks go off and just feeling like, wow, like, we live here and like, we don't live in that house anymore. It's such a relief. Oh my God. Like, I'm so much happier. Holy shit. I know you guys can see it. I'm so inspired. Like, I don't feel sad all the time. Like, it's great. And obviously I have my own mental health struggles. I've struggled with anxiety and depression, you know, my entire life, but I am in such a better place here. So yes, I am so sorry that it took me months to answer these questions. I don't even know if some of you guys that asked those questions are still around, because I'll tell you what, since I have changed my channel and I've been filming different content, I've lost so many subscribers, but I'm actually fine with it. Like, I'm not too upset. I feel like it's cleansing my channel of people that are here for just what I give to them and not so much just for me. And so it makes me know that the people that comment and watch, that you guys just like me, and you guys just like seeing what I'm doing and hanging out with me, and it makes the ones that are here, like, it makes me feel so much more connected and close to you guys, because I know that you genuinely want to be here for me. You're here through the transition. Like, I just did a video recently and I was talking about how I'm not doing any more paranormal content until further notice, and like, it was just full of you guys in the comments saying that like, you found me through that, but you stuck around for my personality. And you know, just thank you guys so much for that. Like, in those moments where I get a little bit down because people are leaving, it's nice to remember those of you that are staying are here for me. It makes it worth it. So thank you guys so much for being here. I am gonna go ahead and wrap up this video though, but just a quick reminder, my KYLA Unfiltered podcast is linked down below. I do a bunch of podcast episodes on all different sorts of things. We'll have story times, whatever's on my mind, true crime, pop culture. It's gonna be a wide array of content. So make sure you guys go check it out if you guys are interested. And yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you watched all the way through, because your thumbs ups and your comments down below really help the interaction out on my channel so much, and it helps my videos do so much better. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video.